Hello, hi everyone, hi America. How you doing? Hope you're doing well and everything's going good. You're having a good time today. My name is Michael Tomlinson. I am an American tutor. Whoa. Uh, Today is July 4th. Yep, time to celebrate barbecues, beer, fireworks. It's summertime, you know. Kids are wanting to get out and go out and have fun. And I wish you all well. Happy Independence Day. We should all celebrate it. And today my celebration is I'm going to go out and get some barbecue ribs and some sides to go along with it. And that's just kind of being a rebel because I've been uh, a certain diet for the past month, and going out and thinking about doing this, which I'm probably going to do, and is breaking away from my diet. I mean, it does not include barbecue ribs, but I can't help it. 4th of July has always been a special holiday for me, more than any other holiday. And the same goes when my dad was alive. Him and I would talk to each other about it, and we would always celebrate 4th of July. We thought it was a really cool and a big deal for family. In fact, him and I thought it was more important than Thanksgiving or even Christmas or Easter. It was just the holiday to really celebrate as a family, or as a congregation of Americans getting together in a large field, just with entertainment and games and food and the firework display later on in the night. It's a family event, and just having a good time. So there's a lot of great things to be said um, about celebrating, 4th of July. That's outside, like, our freedom, celebrating our independence. And so, I've watched, I've lived in different cities throughout the nation and gone to different towns and stuff and spent 4th of July in different locations around the United States. Um, and the one that hits me the most, and I've tried to talk about this in past videos, and I actually, let me go ahead and let you know right now, just on disclosure, that I hope I can actually talk about it now. Because this happened years ago, and I could never even talk to anyone about what happened without being emotionally just charged. It would just make me cry to tell the story. And this is a celebration, talking about July 4th, and it being a happy celebration. This is a happy story, but it still emotionally breaks me down. And so for a lot of years, I just didn't bring it up. And I remember at this one video I was making, I kind of started talking about it, and I was surprised. And I remember feeling emotional too, thinking, wow, this is about as much of the story I've ever told anyone, and it still stirs me up. It has an impact on me, and my perspective in my life. So that's the background on this 4th of July, and it was in New York City, and I don't know when it was, like maybe like 15 years ago. It was a long time ago. I wasn't even an American Cheer wasn't even close to being in its even baby stages. I was um, the fashion designer there peddling my goods. That's what I was doing. I was staying in Brooklyn, but then I spend my days going to like Manhattan and stuff like that to sell my fashion goodies, my fashion concept, my fashion, whatever it was, fashion designer, creative designer um, items. So there I was. I was there, so I happened to be there in Brooklyn and for July 4th weekend, staying with some friends. And so we all, as the sun started to set and stuff, we all started making our way up to the shoreline where we could see the display, happening over Manhattan there in the harbor in the bay because it's right there. It's like there's a big, bay area between Manhattan and Brooklyn. And they lived within 2 blocks of that. I mean, it was really just down the street, So we got ready and we went down there and hung out. And we real, and that's when I realized they've been living there for a while, so I'm sure they've experienced this already. But all of Brooklyn, New York, I mean, all of Brooklyn literally went down there too. It wasn't just us. It wasn't just people that lived around that area. I mean, we're talking like this, like Brooklyn, like all the people in Brooklyn all made their way toward the bay. And would they bring their own chairs and snacks and water, and they get all set up and ready. They bring a radio because the radio would play songs on an AM station, that would coincide with the firework display, and that would show on TV, and people could hear it on TV. But New Yorkers had to have a little radio to tune in to listen to the song going on with the firework display. So there are thousands of people that have just like congregated and infiltrated that whole area, like the whole Bay Area, like all across Brooklyn. And probably on the bridges too, the Greenpoint area bridge and the Brooklyn Bridge, for all as I know. So that was beautiful to see. So finally got dark enough, and the display started happening, and the songs came on, and the radios you could hear, people playing their radios, um, and at that point in time, I remember looking around, like to my left and to my right, and seeing all these Brooklyn people there. Um, pa, 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 pa. I did give you disclosure. I've never been able to tell a story. Okay, let me try to move to a different part of it all. Well, the one part, it had an impact on me, my heart. Just to be able to witness that. And to experience it. Has become unexplainable. I can't even talk about it. I've tried. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. I'm just going to kind of drop the subject because I know I can't talk about it anymore. But that was by far. Hang on. Okay. I think I've regrouped myself enough to jump back in. So, anyways, my favorite, that was one of my best 4th of July's ever. And there have been some great ones I've been to, too. And I've gone to several, like small town, Fairfield, Pagosa, Colorado. I've been there for the 4th of July weekends. And small towns, small villages, middle Colorado. Having a good time, to enjoying myself, enjoying the people of the community. Always enjoy the people of the community I was involved with or am visiting or being a part of at the time. That's always been a big curiosity and my biggest kind of draw. That's what I like. Always like people, to get to know people in communities. And so that's other places I've spent 4th of July weekends. And what it represents to me is a sense of independence, sense of freedom, right? And how it involves American Tutors is that it's, I like to, just to be honest with you right now and say, I like to say, the biggest adversity to what I'm doing and my independence and my freedom of using this platform, is like, political institutions or corporate institutions or, something huge and out of my control, but it's not, unfortunately. The biggest adversity that I have faced throughout my life, too, it hasn't really been because of those entities. This is merely people, just mean people who want to steal happiness from others, who want to take it and strip people of being independent, strip people of being free. And like I said, and these are people that I would consider like friends or even family, who just decide that they are against me for my freedom of expression, and or celebrate my own independence, being happy, that day, just because I want to be happy, and so people will attack me, and I'm not just making this up either. It happens, and it happens, and it happens, and it happens, so that's, unfortunately, I like to, like I said, I like to point at the bigger, which is a problem, which we still got to fix, and resolve, is the political system or the way corporations treat Americans and other institutions that are attached to everything else. I'm not just saying corporate, our healthcare system, and everything else. I mean, there's a lot of major institutions in America that I'm not bringing up right now that have the power to affect smaller fish in the sea like me. A smaller boat. Trying to navigate my boat through the ocean, and not only am I dealing with the waves and life, but I have to deal with the bigger ships, big cargo ships. Would eat me up, man. Just run my little ship over, because I'm just like insignificant to them. And so that's a good metaphor example of what I'm talking about. But and so what I guess the what it comes down to is that it just comes down to Americans. My biggest problem, or people put the problems on me. I'm not sure what to say there about how to phrase that right. Adversity has always been other Americans, other people that I know, that I trusted, and who I thought were my significant other or my good friend, and just, all of a sudden, they end up hurting me, backstabbing me, talking behind my back, treat me like I'm invisible, like it just doesn't matter, so that just kind of strips, it's like, in a sense, people around me are like who I trust are just trying to strip me of my own independence and my own freedom, to stand here and to share with you what's really going on, the truth. They rather oppress me and keep me down rather than hear the truth. And it's really sad. It's really, really, really sad. And it's too bad that people think like that or they attack me that way. And I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not attacking anyone. I'm not trying to do anything like that. Except what I notice is that I just keep my side of the road clean, and there's always people running across the road trying to trash up my stuff, just because they can or they want to, or they just hate me, for stepping up and doing something. They don't like this, and so that's my struggle and my adversity for more independence and more freedom is just American people, regular folks like you watching this video. And if you're part of my past, you're probably 90% of the people that are part of my wreckage of my past. And the other 10% have helped me. Have been more than helpful. They're like, to me, they're like heaven sent, because it's so rare and they're so far in between with me having really good people in my life. And I barely have some good people in my life right now who I appreciate so much. And I love them so much, because they have stepped up beyond what other people have done, or what normal people should have been doing, that they should be doing, they actually are doing it. But it's just such a small percentage of people that are like that. And so with being happy 4th of July still holds a lot of value to me. I'm still happy about it. I'm still excited about it, and I think that backyard barbecues and people getting together and congregating in major facilities, families and all, that is just amazing and a magnificent stuff. I mean, that is good. That is I love it. I love it. I love it. Americans getting together. And not because all of a sudden the word divided or we're separated or division starts to just fall apart. That evilness starts to go away just for that one day, just for today. We're not thinking about how to discriminate. Like, I hope we're not. We're not thinking about how we're going to hurt others, or strip other people of their freedom. Rather than we're just celebrating it. Celebrate. And then you'll realize what I realize. And eventually, if God wants you to see what I saw, He will show you. And you will see and understand what I was talking about earlier, and what that really means. It means a lot. It's a big deal. Big deal. People don't think that's a big deal, but it is a big deal. Believe me. I can't even put it in words. That is a pretty big deal. Believe me. I mean, it is, because it's undescribable. It's unexplainable in a lot of ways. And it's highly emotional at the same time. So, just kind of have to leave it at that. Like one of my most closest, like other personal experiences in my life that I've had, that I just, for some reason, just can't put it out there because I'm just stopped. It's just too much of. I know I'm about to say something that's going to be way too much truth for people, and I could barely absorb it, yet alone just some regular person that I expect to just understand and absorb it, man. That's just going to be like, explosions. People are going to freak out, and they see the real world in that sense, and that, through my eyes on that day. And hopefully you'll experience that today yourself. I pray that you do. That's something that's special. So I hope it happens to you. That sort of level, that frequency, and that vibration, and to be able to feel it and see it and understand it is just phenomenal. Boy, I've jumped everywhere on this 4th of July subject right now. Thank you for hearing me out and listening to me. And I hope you can relate to me, especially on the part where, we are just Americans hurting Americans, and for no real reason at all. And when we should be celebrating other Americans for the freedom and independence and being free thinkers, and promoting change and promoting love and promoting unity in America, not other bad things. I mean, it's, we're all about togetherness and coming together. That's why it's such a special holiday. So, thank you for your time. God, and have a wonderful, 11 4th of July. I hope you're celebrating it with your friends and with your family, or you're just hanging out with one person as you both are just enjoying the day. Embrace whatever it is in front of you. The zest. Seize the day. Fall in love if you can. Smile if you want to. If you can, smile. We're all in this together. And hopefully today will help you see that. Okay, well, I've already done my closing. I'm not going to go through that. I'm just going to peace, love, and we'll talk later, okay? Bye.